If you are a SQL guy, you know all those filters how to do like with the where conditions, right? So you may be wondering how you want to do them in pandas using Python. So before we start that, I want to show you like how you get the free data sets so that you can work on. The one that I'm looking at it is Amtrak stations dataset. It's from data.world, and there are so many datasets similar to this. You can actually click on the download, so it will download to your desktop, and you can also do the preview here, right here, which is easier. And if you want to like see what is the content and who is the author, etc., and what are the permissions behind it, they're all available for as a public datasets, which are free to use. And there are many other datasets similar to that. Now I'm trying to see if there is a video game sales, which is a smaller dataset that I'm going to download. So on my local machine, I'm going to use the Jupyter notebook. So first I'll be importing the pandas data to run the data frame. If you can use import pandas as PD and then enter the data set like location on your local machine. On mine it is in a data folder that I created, and let me check the contents in it. So now you can see you can actually run the contents ordered in the. So for the filters, I will select like the column in the platform like V and GB as a list. I created one list there, and I'm trying to like filter those those two for now in the game's data frame that I created. So let's say platform, and then filter the list that I just created, which is using the isin, like platform.isin filter. So let's run the head, like probably game start head, and before that I want to like assign this to the data frame itself, like games equal to game start head. So you can see how it's going to filter out with the is in condition. So now you got the new data set just for V, WII and GB. And for if you wanted to do the opposite, like using not in, right? Not in, which would generally use a tilde function. But if I just want to like only filter it for GB, I'm just running it for GB, and you can see how it has changed to GB. And let's add the not in condition here. Generally, I just try to copy the same code and then copy it here. I just add like tilde, and then it will exclude those which were there in the past, right? So you just got everything because you had already filtered the data set in the past, so it's going to exclude everything. But then let's see, I will just go ahead and run the original data set. I'm going to run the original data set and then run the tilde now to avoid the GB. So now you can see the filter where it's only showing the platforms that are not GB. So it's just a tilde. That's how you can use the not in function. Now I want to see if we could use the query method to run the filters on the pandas data frame. Let's select the genre as a column, and we can create a genre equal to sports, right? So if I'm selecting the sports and run it, so now you can see it's only going to filter for the sports using the query. Now let's comment it out and add one more. In this one, I want to try the filter using loc and iloc methods, like locations based specific filters. So I rerun the original data set, and so that we can apply the filters using the LOC method, like loc or location. Games.loc, and the main difference between the LOC and iloc is with LOC you just go and use labels for handling, and with iloc you just use numbers, like specific key numbers, to handle it. Here if you run it using the 0, you got that's what it is. And let's change that one lock to maybe like 0 and 1, and then you can see, you will see the first two rows, you are getting the two rows right there. Now if I'm running like 1 and 2, we will change the location to, like, first, instead of 0 and 1, you will get the second row and the third row. The index starts with 0, right? So the 1 is the second row and the 2 is the third row. Now using let's try running it with iloc. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the code and then change that. You can see the difference, like for 1 2 you're getting like 1 to 2, right? Instead in the past you got a different one with the lock. So here, that is the main difference here. Then now I want to show you how to use iloc to handle both rows and columns. Let's say games.iloc, and let's give the range of rows. The first one would be range of rows, and then the second one would be range of columns. So here I'm trying to enter like 1:2 and then 3:7, and let's run it. So now you can see you are going to get the columns from year, because number 3 is for the year, and then up to 7, and the number 1 to 2 is the number rows. Okay, so the iloc and loc are pretty good to handle. Like you have a lot more control on what you're doing, but there are other features, like you can use isin, and you can also use the query functions and whatnot. And subscribe to see more. Thank you.